swear, I think it's only been a few hours since my last video. It's only been a few hours since I tried to sleep. Right now it's 10:45, and it was like 9:30. I think it was like 9:08 or 9:18 or something. I don't know. And I don't know how I keep seeing oh, I swear. This is, oh God. I feel like I'm going, God, it's like so much. But anyways, so, and I was jolted away, I'm telling you, it's like I'm in this argument or something. It's like, it's weird. My sleep is so whatever is going on with it, it's not getting better at all. It's jolting awake. And right now this is itching so bad. I just went and put a bunch of castor oil, the aloe vera, really, oh, I just took a charcoal because it's got to be parasites. I mean, every single thing. And I'm like, oh, this is some sort of little worms over there just eating my skin or something. And or trying to break through it or something. And I know that I am seeing, like, this is dark right there. So whatever it is, it's fighting some kind of thing. And it keeps coming back and coming back and coming back. So I don't know. I took some, what is that stuff called? It's this condensed bee pollen stuff. I took a couple of those, and I took a charcoal, and I got up and I drank some more burdock root, and I put in some mullein and nettles, and put a bunch of stuff in there. And then so I don't know how to conquer, how just keep fighting the symptoms or whatever, but fuck, it's uncomfortable. It's so itchy. It makes me think it's got to be something like a cold sore or something. And that virus, it can go anywhere inside of you. That's what I learned in the hospital with that patient. Because I was like, what? What do you mean it's in her eye? What do you mean it's in went in her brain? Like, I was like, how in there? Like, it's a virus inside your body. It can go anywhere it wants. It can come out anywhere. And so I don't know if it's like trying to come out by my eye or something. Like, I don't know what the fuck. But it is definitely itchy. And it's definitely something is like coming through. And like, I have no idea, and you start really thinking about it and stuff. It's so weird too. It's because it's different than what we think, and we got to release like what we thought about flesh and blood. And I don't know, it seems like that's kind of like all this AI and Neo and all this stuff is kind of the lead in to kind of get us to change the way we understand things or something, to just open our minds to more. And I know this is so tedious, motherfucking tedious. And then, of course, so then when I was jolted awake, it was weird too, because I was sitting there arguing, and it was, I don't even know, to even say who I'm arguing with. I don't know. And then, so I was telling me to get up and to keep talking about my phone. And then I was so jolted awake, jumped up and went over there, and then my video had finished downloading, so I took it on, put it back on airplane mode, and then I think I went pee and went and laid back down, and then it was just like, it's only a couple weeks till March. What if they actually, then it just started. I was just like, oh my God. Okay, I'm not fucking thinking about that. It's like, I'm just going to trust the universe. It's like trusting in yourself. It's like trusting in your higher self. And, so anyways, I always have my own stuff going on. But then I was, so I was laying there because then I couldn't go back to sleep. And so then I decided to look on my phone and look at TikToks or something. I went on his, check the comments and stuff. And then I was like, oh God, my eyes hurt so bad. I feel exhausted. I feel tired. My eyes are just killing me. And, but I have figured out what I think I'm going to do with my shirt. Like, I did get that solved in all of this thinking business. So I'm going to work on that today. I'll get that done. And then, and I don't know, I may end up having to take something more, like I have some antiviral pills that I have on hand in case of emergency. I may turn this into an emergency and take it and see if it does something. But then that can also, kind of freak me out. It's like right by my eye. And I think I don't know. I don't know how it all works. I would say, well, I think because the castor oil would hold it, but I have no idea. Maybe that would seep it in my eyeball. It is definitely, I don't even know. I feel like I've just been fighting these health things over and over and over. I feel exhausted. I'm just tired as fuck. And now not even being able to sleep. And there is this pressure of like, man, do I need to fucking pack? Is this going to be an ordeal? Is this going to be like, is there still, a lot of shitty people out there? What did I fucking say? So I went on TikTok and then immediately I was like, okay, well, now I'm up. Now I got to talk about it. So one thing I want to say is, what did I fucking say was going to start happening? And it's happening in New York. 70 people on the take. And it has been so heavy on my orbit, my radar, over the past week, over the past few days especially. It's been so heavy on my mind about the corruption, especially in New York and stuff, because these old movies, it's constantly showing these old gangsters, and it's always the corruption is the rich people, they always get the bad people. So you get these poor people come from Italy or come from Ireland or whatever, and Jews, and they're all fighting each other, and so then they have little gangs and stuff. This is our neighborhood, or whatever, and you have and so that can get nasty, but that starts showing how far people will go, and then and see, they're always looking for that. It's like the judicial system is to kind of catch those, to get get control. But it wasn't the kind of control as like what they try to market it as. It was the kind of control of like, oh, you can do this, but we're in control. And but they were all in control of each other. And like in this one movie I had just watched, and it was about the buying a governor and stuff like that. Like, you put the money into their stuff, and in all this corruption and bribery, and it would always be having these developers. So I kept saying these developers and contractors and these realtors and stuff, they're all fucking criminal. And you watch these old movies, you see so much corruption. So anyways, I've been talking about that for a while, and the regular people are going to start getting arrested for big crimes. And in New York, so 70, and it's these contractors that were all on the take, and huge amounts of money. So like I said, and some of those, those people over there, I'm sure, they're went around, because that is like, I don't know. I was thinking about those Jersey mob wives and stuff. How all these people are really into it and stuff. Like, there's this statusy kind of you know, what you have and what you wear and what you drive. And so there's a lot of people who, like I had said, they're up there in this statusy thing, but they've committed crimes, like their husbands and stuff. There's gonna be like a lot of humiliation that's gonna go along with this. Like this, especially, it's all gonna be too by intention and pure of heart. It will have to do with that. And so, you know, there can be people who have done well, but it has to do with their heart. The people who have been like their soul corrupted or something, that is gonna flip around. It's like it's got to go to this balance thing. So it's not like, you know, that means they're bad people or something like that. It's like their soul going into this balance thing. So it's but see how, what I mean, how it's all the same stuff that just plays out. It all has to do with each individual finding their balance. And everybody's been so heavy in the dark because the dark has been the accepted way to go. There were so many people on the take, so many people. Like this is just a big sweeping of 70 people. And New York has got so much shit going on, like right now, so much. Like, there's so much stuff going on. There's so much going on. Like the Hawaiians are fighting big corporate, you know, the big money people are trying to take over and say that they're going to redevelop and all this stuff. And the Hawaiians have caught on to their past, and they're saying no, they don't want any. If they're not Hawaiian, then they have no business there. And so they're in this battle. They're in the battle with this corrupt judicial. See, that's the thing, is we've got these two things playing out. These and there is no balance because it's so heavy, and it's always been this heavy because they had it to. It's so weird because when I see it, it's just so much about. It's like a fucking. Making money off crime, making money off of criminals and stuff. It's so it's just so corrupt. Their whole thing with their prisons, everything. There's just so much nastiness in all their stuff, man. And then anybody who has tried to enter it, like good people have gone into some of these jobs, and it's brought out dark parts of them because of what went on. And there's some people who have had to leave jobs because there's been so much darkness at the job, and they brought that dark side out on them, and it was so uncomfortable that they were like, they had to run, you know, get away from there because their soul was that push back of like, you know, run. That's what I said. When shit would go around me, mine would be like, run, go, get out of here, get the fuck out of here. And so you know, some people have that, but like right now it's just like I would see like in a prison system, like the guys who would go to work there, you know, it become a very you know, upstairs, downstairs situation, and that they would, just like how it plays out in those studies, you know, you take this certain group of people, ooh, and then it gets so, oh man, there gets to be so much raunchiness, the way they feed off of each other and stuff. Once it gets into, like, the criminals know the other criminals, and they just start, it's like this weaving of raunchiness, like the lowness of humanity, and there's always these places to find it, but like in a prison system, and then you have the ones who think they're better than other people, so that they can be aggressive and mean and hateful and demeaning towards them, not dehumanize them, no longer see them as a human being. And then you have people who even try and make them pay, like, you want to be treated like a human, then, you know, you'll do this or this or this. There's so much, like, oh, so nasty. But like the guys who go to work there, then they that kind of brotherhood is the same kind of thing that is like in cops and stuff. But they, we're all going to do this together. And then you are like not comfortable with it. And maybe you are involved in like a beating in one of the cells or something. And it's like, this is some bullshit. No, I can't fucking sleep. I can't sleep at night and go to work and live like this. And so no matter that the check is huge, because they pay those guys huge money. Uh, think about that. So they, and not only is the paycheck, so you have to give up on that. And, but see, that's where people come to that crossroads of following your soul or chasing that dollar bill, y'all. And so the people who end up chasing it, it's like you have to give up more and more of your soul, give up more and more of your soul. So the more corruption that crosses your path, the more you're on board. So it's like it's just so much toxicity to people's souls here. It's just so heavy in the dark, and people don't realize. That's what I've been saying. People don't realize because it's so heavy in the dark. But this is where the good comes in and shows. This is where things go into balance. This is where the light comes in and goes, oh, you thought that was okay? Now how you think about it. Now what you think. And so the light really starts shining. And that's why we have so much stuff coming in on things, so that people have to see and look at the things and get that balance in themselves, and why there is so much duality going on. There's so much of this splitting and duality. Everything is like, you have to look at it and, a little bit right, a little bit wrong, a little bit wrong, a little bit right. You just got to keep on, finding where you fit, where you find your balance. And seeing more of the picture, seeing more and bigger helps you to find that place so that you can have an understanding in a place that has been so dark when the light is coming in. But there has been so much corruption, and there is so much corruption in so many people's souls. And people have gotten so lost from their soul, and they've kept their souls so in the dark and all that stuff in order to maintain, sleep, being able to sleep. And it's like a detachment. It's like some people, have put their soul in a cell, like they're for protection. Some people have put it in a cell for their mental protection. So it's like, but there's this merging of all things coming together, and people, and it's so trippy too. Is so there's just all this stuff like that I keep seeing and stuff, but but I said that there is going to be there's going to be tons and tons of these arrests of regular people who are going to be going down for huge crimes. And it's kind of like seeing all of all the game parts or players or something. I see like this big game board, and all of like we're the pawns. So all the pawns on the game, and they all just start just falling. But they were used too, because it's so much bigger, because you're used also by these archons or whatever, this dark energy that feeds off of you, that it's like in this game, it's allowed to sit there and get in your head and play fucking games in your head, so to confuse you, and so and to disrupt you. And I don't know if that's what's disrupting my sleep, but my stomach's growling like crazy, and there's some sort of moon thing. I want to go in and eat cookies, and it's like, fuck you, parasites. I'm not doing it today. I'm just not. And I just ate that charcoal pill. So, and I don't know if those cookies are giving me a stomach ache or something, because they do have chemicals. But then that can be in your head too. There's so much that's just, and I keep trying to do that with my head. Use my mind to heal like my eye and stuff. I try and use it to heal everything. It's just not instantaneously. Some things you can make them go away real quick, but some of these other things, and that's why I'm always saying, like, show me, so I can release whatever it is that I'm holding on to. Because there is this thing about your physicality is showing you what you need to work on. And I don't know how to say it in a way to make people understand. I tried to say this to my daughter yesterday about something, because she's been doing this EMDR, which she says is super, super cool. She says it's crazy how it works. But so she said that, so she had been bringing up this stuff and processing through it, and let me think for a second, because it was something she was as soon as I go off on one thing, because it's always like I branch off. It's like, okay, wait, now I gotta get back where I was. Going further in the dark. Hold on. So when I was talking to her, and she was doing her thing and having those memories. Oh, and I was saying, okay, so it's like the people who you meet and all of the things that happen, they are all, it's like the same thing with, man, it's hard to explain. Okay, so the people who you meet are there to formulate the situations or problems in order to have you bring to the surface, like the surface, bring it up to the level of understanding, to surface level of what it is you're trying to work on. So you could have like a whole bunch of different lives, say you've got these situations, these issues, because, you know, I mean, you definitely weren't thinking about this kind of stuff in these lives. You were just learning these lessons and whatnot. And so there's all this pain and suffering that you carry from all these different lives, all this unfinished business, these things. You know, just like I said, as soon as people get in their life review and they see something, it's like, oh, they did it. I shouldn't have done that. I got to fix it. Kind of attitude, you know. So you have all this unfinished business that you carry with you, this baggage that you drag from life to life, this karmic playing things out to finish your business, to put things back in balance, to fix it. And so when you are going through all those different lives, there's these different situations. So then when you come into this, like right now in this here and now, all these people and the situations that are happening are so intertwined into these old past traumas to have this situation or this person bring up this thing so that it comes to the surface. And when she was, whatever she was talking about, I could just see it so clear. And then, and I'm always telling her, you got to go do a past life regression. I'm always saying, like, to any of the people, I just think it would give so much insight into some other things that you can be dealing with, because so much of this stuff that you have going is like this wrapping up of lessons. It's like all this, and all these traumas, all these problems and stuff are supposed to be helping you bring stuff to this surface so that you can release it. And so it all is, that's why it's happening for you. Like it's all, but it's so intertwined like that. And the same thing is like your physical stuff, like your physical appearance, the parts that like your body traumas, the things you're going through, or all those things are to get you to to recognize something, to heal something, to do a certain approach or do something a certain way. And, like always to me, that this thing that comes in is like a girl who has this big nose, and she hates her nose, and she feels so much shame for her nose, and she's so embarrassed. And the girl they put on the ads, she always has this perfect cute nose, and she wants a nose like that. And see, that's where we start getting this idea, like, well, if I put that part on, it would make me better. But really, it's all our parts together makes us who we are. We have to come into an acceptance of who we are, which is a challenge through life, because, just as my daughter was saying, it's like, right from the get-go, you're disappointing people. People are telling you what's wrong with you. And just like what has been coming up with me, it's so weird, all these things that keep coming up to me. And then I'll hear someone else talking about it. Like I just had this one, is I kept on thinking yesterday, how absurd it was that we were all kids and we all thought, oh, I just want to be a grown-up so bad. And then everything's going to be good. We won't have problems. No more problems once we're a child. And then it was just like, oh my God, the problems got so much bigger and so much worse. And just that, the whole time you're a kid, instead of having fun, and, you're just focused on, oh, I just wish I could be a grown-up now so things weren't so hard. And you had more control of your life and stuff. And then you grow and find out, like, oh, well, that was there's always this message of, appreciate your time right here and right now. Appreciate what is going on right here and right now. And then I was talking to my other daughter yesterday, and her daughter's coming, and she was saying, she's so excited to see her. She hasn't seen her in so long. And I said, yeah, it's so hard because you just don't realize when your kids are young is how temporary it really is. And then all of a sudden they're off living their own lives and they're gone. And it's like you get these brief little moments with them. And there's all these things that just drive that home. But I had just seen one of the things I had seen was a duet of a guy saying that, and the other people were agreeing, because just laughing about, can you believe when we were kids that we thought we wanted to just be grown-ups? And it was like, it's so weird how we'll all get these same messages, like off conversations, and we're all having these waves of things. And people are getting so much deeper how they're seeing things, because they're getting more in touch with their feelings. And I explained it so good to my daughter yesterday. I was like, gosh, that was like, that was a good explanation, man. About like what's going on and stuff. It's just like I don't know, and stuff just comes out of me. I don't know, but it was really good explanation. I wish I would have just got it on thing. But I'm supposed to explain it like that. I think I explain it so much more drawn. I mean, I had like quick. I would slam a lot of stuff in, and it was just like boom, 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 boom. And it was like, man, that was good. It's like, and there's always this thing, there's a whole thing, because, it's not you, it's outside of you where the information comes from, but then you're connecting to that information, so it comes through you. It's just the whole thing. It's just weird. But anyways, another thing, though, because I had seen some other things. One of the things I had seen, and now when I keep seeing these people who are older, it's just is giving me such a different look. Like, man, there's so many things. Like yesterday, and I only saw a few videos yesterday too. Well, it was going kind of fast, but it was like, I don't know, maybe I saw 50 videos yesterday. Maybe I've seen 20 this morning or something. But this one yesterday, so is one of these older women, and she has the silver hair. So she's one of these, there's just a certain aging group. Like there's all these different groups. Like you have these aging group of just heavy makeup fillers, which now it's coming out that, these fillers are giving women cancer in their face. which, look at that. And remember I had, oh, okay, so so this could be botulism trying to come out. Because this is, remember where I said I had gotten Botox. So now I got to figure out. So I'm going to maybe try putting some, like some bentonite clay, make like a paste, a mineral paste, and maybe some charcoal and stuff, make like a mineral paste and put it there and try and pull it out. Because I bet you, okay, that's so funny how when all of a sudden the things go together. Because I had seen that yesterday about the face cancer. Then my things started doing that, and about the fillers and stuff. And I had gotten Botox a few times because of this frown thing where I realized like I was always frowning because I was motherfucking miserable. And then you gotta rub and rub. There's still remnants of it, my misery there, but that is what it is. That is got to be it. So it is some kind of botulism, parasitic kind of thing. I bet you it has been stored up in there, and I have been doing all these lymph rubs and stuff too. But this started a while ago because I'd already gone to the doctor. So I bet you that is what is happening with people. There's some kind of thing. It's like, I don't know. But I'm going to keep, fighting it. Is like there was, if you don't do something, you can't just ignore stuff. There was this, when I was very first a nurse, and I was a nurse tech. I wasn't even an RN, and so it was like an LPN or something. But you're not licensed yet, and so you work under the RN's license, but you go do all her shit. And so we had this patient. I saw some of the worst things because I was on the oncology floor. Oh, oh my God, it was so horrible. It was like so horrible. And this lady, and she was young, but she was like a country folk who didn't go in and, she didn't know or something. I'm not sure. Because everybody's life journey, it all has a reason, it all has a meaning, a purpose to their soul. So it's not for me to understand or know. This is a thing where we all keep trying to expect people to know what they're supposed to know. This is something I told my daughter too, because you can't be judging yourself. You can't be judging the things you've done. This is where you're here to learn. So don't be mad at yourself that you did something. The red flags were there all the time. It's like that's what you got to go in deeper. Like, yeah, why did I do that? All the red flags were telling me not to do that, and I still did it. I was desperate. I was needy. I was, why was I so desperate? Why would I, throw away how I felt in order to please somebody else? It's just, those are things you got to go in and look at that are deep, hard wounds to look into. Those are the things you release, and those are the things I'm saying are like way deeper than this life. And this life is here to help you bring those things up to the surface. It's not by accident, happenstance. So many people live in a way that they think like what they do today affects tomorrow, like that they have control or something. It's like, no, you don't have control. Everything is going to go the way it's going to go. And this other thing too with these spiritual people sitting there like shaming other people, like people could be living their best life and you keep telling them that they're not living their best life, then you're just creating confusion. Because there's more to life than chasing this dream. There's a whole aspect of life of learning to be present, learning to appreciate the people around you, finding the people who you're in alignment with, to enjoy life, to appreciate the things you have, gratitude and stuff. to always be thinking you need something else, and you got to chase this thing and get out there, and you're not high vibration if you don't have it yet and stuff. It's like this all is so twisted. So anyways, everybody's got their own lessons, their own stuff here to learn. And so but you can't be hard on yourself when you overrode the flags, when you tried to think, the universe was sending you the signs. It was letting you know, look, look, look. But you kept on, powering through. No, I'll make the best of it. It'll be okay. I'll fix it. And then, that becomes your focus, and you're resentful, and like all these different things play out because there's so many things you're learning. It's all about what you're learning in there. And so those are, the important parts. But so this woman, so you have these different groups, this aging groups, because you have these ones that are all putting in filler, and they are heavy makeup wearers. I don't know if they just wear wigs or weaves, or they don't have natural hair color. I don't know if they have any. I don't know what their hair is. It seems like they wear wigs and stuff. And they seem like a doll that's been put together. And I just saw the 63-year-old woman again. And in the thing, she literally looks like no lines. I don't know how many things she's had pulled tight and all that stuff. I don't even know if she just goes and gets tape and pulls everything tight before she even records. Like, you don't know what these people, and then they're just marketing their retinol here, retinol. And I've just heard things as like, you don't want to be addicted to retinol, and then who knows what it seeps in as it comes out as cancers and stuff. As I bet you $100 that's what is going on here. And so at least now I feel like I kind of have an idea, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to make some kind of a mineral paste and try that. And then I have another one of those Asayic teas coming. So I'm going to just take that, because it has a whole bunch of stuff in it that kills these. It's a heavy hitter on the parasites, because apparently all cancer is parasites. So it's a heavy hitter on the parasites. So everything is just parasite cleanse. And then on top of it, you got to get the chemicals out. Detox, because they just clog up all of your system. So then the parasites just make home, and then you got fucking tumors all over the fucking place. So you got to keep everything moving. So it's just a lot, man. It's a lot. And so, no shame on all of these people, because I just see so many people who are just so lost. And this woman, she's got this full-on gray hair and stuff. And she's very attractive. And so she's marketing this aging, attractive, letting your hair go, being more free with letting yourself age. Quit trying to fight it like this other group that's trying to fight it and trying to, look like a doll or something. And then you have this other group as, being, let's just go free. And then you have like my group now is like, no, you just start taking care of yourself and it goes away. So just take care of yourself. But then I see all these people and their health and all these issues and their deterioration, and even this attractive woman, like I see one attractive woman after another, just on like pleading for companionship. Just this one was doing a TikTok. Like, she's at the grocery store with her daughter, and she's showing some other couple over there, and just like, I really would like a man to be coming to the grocery store with me. Let's pick out broccoli together or something. It's like, okay, so you're a cute lady, and you're going to have all these guys that are going to think you're attractive. Then they're going to want to, just hook up with you, get to know you. They all want to have this attractive, fun lady, right? So then they're going to just flood you with, fuck, I see them in my goddamn thing. I don't even go in all these messages. Like, there's so many of these, like, it's like these same lines over and over. And so then you're going to go through them, and you're going to decide, You know, it is so much drama. It's just so much, or is it just all for likes and shares and views? Like, it just is strange to me. And, you know, but whatever. I know there's a lot of, because I see them all the time, these super attractive ladies online trying to, you know, fish for attention or guys or something. It's like, gosh, I don't know how people have all become so desperate. It's like, man, and everybody's approach is so backwards. Is it's like trying to go into this virtual world to find satisfaction. When you go out and you go into the real world, go out and start, you know, fulfilling your dreams. Go out and start creating things. Get involved in something, you know. Go build houses for poor people or housing or something. And you go out there and you get involved and you're doing something you love and you're meeting all these people who also love it. That's where you find the people. You get out there and you start following things that you love to do. Not just sit online and pose and make quirky things and dance moves and shake your butt and get your cleavage out there, and the guy of your dreams is gonna come on. Like, I don't know. People gotta see it for themselves. Like, it just sounds like I'm just lecture or something. So I can just see it so clearly, and it just seems like, but there's so many people who don't see it, and you should even try and say it, and they're just like, huh? It's like, what? But then, so on the aging thing too. So now when I see these like people, it's like I don't know. It's like getting comfortable in your pain. It seems like people are just like, it's like this surrendering. Surrender to your diagnoses. Get a few. You need a few. You gotta be on some serious meds. Get a few diagnoses. Surrender to it because, you know, well, I've got lupus. I got the fibromyalgia. I've got this. It's like, I don't even want their fucking, I used to. Like, I was there. I felt like shit. Nothing's going right. It's like, you know, and then you have a diagnosis. It's like, okay, now I've got something to work with. Okay, I've got this. And then you tell people, and it's like, oh my God, you've got the MS. Oh my God, how are you going to make it? What you going to do? And then it's like pretty soon, everybody wants to talk to you about what you got going on. And so then you got all these people who enjoy being sick. They enjoy, like, yeah, I got a new diagnosis today. Yeah, I got this. And it used to be an old people problem where people would be like, oh God, you talk to an old person and all they do is tell you about all their ailments. And now it's like bugs, people in their 20s. It's like it starts, that's why I said, I think our aging is corrupted. I think it's once you become an adult, then you kind of like you age into like your 30s, 35. But I think once we're past that, I think it's like this deterioration from because we could keep going and going and going, but it's like this, we're so burdened by all of the assault that is happening on us. You know, this, because they like to keep things moving. They like to just have, they like a certain age range. Is they have a certain age range that they consume, but then there's the other energy source of an age range that they consume too. And so, and as soon as you start petering out, see, they put pressure on you to get you to drive harder, and on the younger folk to get them to push, like, well, you got to be mature, get out there and be responsible, and then push into that. So get them to push in there. And then once they start getting like burdened by, they're starting to get sick, they're starting to get diagnoses, they're starting to notice they never get time off, they never get ahead, they're starting to feel worn out, then it's putting more pressure on them. And that's when people's lives really start falling apart too. Like midlife crises. I see this implant situation totally as a midlife crisis. Totally as like bought a sports car, but you know, then you're kind of stuck with it. Can't get this sports car off me. It's like, God damn. So, there's still no calls from any surgeons offices to talk to me. So I'm still going to feel hopeful. I'm still going to feel like, oh, maybe I'll get in there and get that done. I did not see the UPS guy go by at all, which just is like, I know that there's a lot of layoffs going on, and I know there's a lot of things with the storms and stuff, but I don't know. I mean, UPS goes uh, out here rural, like everybody always gets deliveries. Like UPS is always going. So I don't know. That seems weird. It seems weird that my package is taking so long when it was supposed to be here Monday. Now it just says every day it's supposed to be here today, but it never says it's out for delivery. So whatever, that whole thing seems jacked up. It seems like everything is so motherfucking jacked up. Everything is jacked up. But so I see these people and they're like surrendering to their diagnoses, you know, and the whole concept of aging. So everybody has like a cutoff point where they're just like, oh well, you know, I'll just eat some ice cream. Oh well, I should go walk or something, but oh well, you know, I don't really care anymore. Uh, well, it's a lot of like what they should do, and they just kind of give up and just kind of surrender to their impulses. Oh yeah, I'll have a second Big Mac and get me an ice cream sandwich to go with it, and just like, yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy the simple life, the simple things. But the simple things are what's killing you. So that surrendering to the simple things is poisoning you worse and making you sicker, because people have all surrendered to this weight problem, and so many people's health is in crises because of this. So many toxins and stuff, and all this additives in this food, and then all of this like your system, so your funneling system, so like your filtering, your kidneys and all that gets all blocked up because it's got so much of that. And then you've got like the lymph and stuff, like people stopped moving. They'd rather just sit and watch things, and so they're not moving, they're not getting their blood flowing and everything moving and keeping things going and filtered, and they're not helping their system by taking more things to filter out the toxins and stuff. So they're feeling more like gross and beat down and yuck, and probably a lot of them just have tons of different symptoms: GI, blood pressure, diabetes, all of these different things. And it becomes so reliant. Like medical has made you think, well, you have to, insulin's the cure, insulin's your thing. But there's other things that people are going and doing and fixing these metabolic problems and solving their things through natural, holistic, naturopathic remedies and stuff like that. It's like the medical came whirling in and just started interfering with people's problems, making them think that they could fix them. They're such snake oil salesmen. It's just, there's so much corruption, man. Just so much. It is so much the two characters playing out, you know, like us gullible people, like just want to care and want to have fun and love everybody, and then the people who are just like, you know, like trying to see who they can take advantage of. It's like these two different groups, like, and then there's kind of like everything in between. Like everybody has different levels of how far they'll go, and that's why all these things are happening. So you can witness yourself, so you can understand how far will you go. You know, what will you do? What will you say no to? What will you, you know, how many people can you stand up to? And it's all this push. And that is like just where I was able to start doing it young and start standing up for myself. But there's a lot of people who are just now starting to do it, and all of the things that you have to go back in for yourself and look at and think like, why didn't I stand up for myself? Why did I go along with that? Why did I do that? And so all these things are to continue to get you to come into those balance, that realization, to understand yourself at all these different levels. But but when I see these ladies, and like that, even if they have like deep creases and stuff, and it's just like, oh, you just need to go in and just lay on the bed and just really rub and massage these deep lines. And I don't just see lines and wrinkles, I see pain, and I see like their gray hair, this mineral deficiency. And you got the people masking it, and then you got the people trying to rock it. But what it is like they're depleted and they're sick, and then they even exhibit like this desperation of loneliness and sadness. And it's like there's so much that we have to heal and come together, because people feel so isolated and lonely. Because in a lot of people think like a relationship will fix it, but a lot of times community, just having a community. That's why it all starts with following your desires and finding that community. And then it will lead you into, the things that are meant to find you are going to find you. And so, they'll find you. And so there's a natural way of doing it. Everything is just, we're fighting against this artificial. And so, now when I see these people, like I see them depleted and mineral deficient and tired, and needing to take time to rest and take care of themselves and love themselves and give themselves better nutrition, and depending on their lifestyle. Like some of these women, are on that, have a glass of wine at night, and some of them are still like, well, I'm still living my best life, and I'm going out and partying and drinking tonight. And, that's hard on your liver and stuff. And man, there's just so much toxins and stuff, and your body is in such a depleted mode. It's like you've only got 2 cylinders going, and you're still going out there chugging along. It's like your motor's just. So you got to take time to yourself. And then people don't want to be like, well, no, that would mean I was old. That would mean no, that's what you need to do, is you need to go in and take time to yourself. You're getting old because you're not taking time to yourself. You're aging yourself because you're running, and you're running and chasing something. You got to stop and see, what am I chasing? Where am I trying to go? Where am I trying to get to? I mean, everybody's trying to, like, I'm going to run out of time. Well, you can't chase it. You got to get with it. You got to get with it. You got to just relax into it. And it's just this funny conversation, something about time. I don't remember. But anyways, I was like looking at these ladies, and with their deep lines, and no matter what your lines are or whatever, and just go in and just this relaxing and feeling your stuff, letting go, really releasing this, because this is like this old trauma that you went through, and it's just sitting there represented still. And you look at it and you just begin to hate yourself, but it is the not dealing with your trauma. And, just like on your mouth thing, like all of this tension that goes in your mouth, that's for not speaking up for yourself. That's for not speaking your truth. For not standing up for yourself. It's this, it's the trauma of like this, the bitterness and the feeling walked all over. Like all those things are being held inside your face. All those times that you felt that. All the time where you were feeling abandoned and scared, and all that is in your face. It's showing you. That's what you're looking at when you think that is what is aging. That is what's showing you is your pain. It's trying to scream at you. Look at me, look at me, look at me. It's going to make me cry. Fuck. Man, that's emotional. But that's what it's like. People have failed to look at themselves. And now it's like a judging and hating themselves for when they look at themselves. And oh, man, it's gonna make me cry because you gotta look at yourself and see the pain that's trapped, like the little kid. It's like the hardened shell that becomes the little kid. So, oh, man, it really has been bothering me, and it is hard too, because like when you feel like you've discovered this, you figured this out, you want everybody to know and to see, and you see these people just talking and they're suffering and they're lost, and it's like you just want to go through the phone and go sit in their living room and try and explain it to them, but you can't. Like everybody, the things come to you. Like when they are able to understand is when the information will come to them. Like, that's how you can, I come into your life when you can understand what I'm talking about. And so, I don't know. But I feel bad for when I see them, because it's like, man, things are so much more simple than what we've been fed. There's so much to, you start being really mindful over what you consume, start paying attention. And of course, anything you cook, then you know more what's going into it. And reducing ingredients reduces the amount of intake of all of these different additives and disruptors that go into your system. And so so of course leaning into cooking for yourself and more basic ingredients, getting away from boxed food, packaged food, and all that, and getting more into more nutrition, because I feel like that's one of the reasons why as I can have good labs and eat cookies and crap like that, is because of like the nutrient packed tea powder stuff. I really think that tea powder stuff that I drink is it's got so much nutrients, so much stuff that is good for you. And mine has a lot, and I can say part of the list. I can say some of the stuff because I do all my chai spices. And so in the chai spices, and when you do cinnamon, there's a whole thing too. You got to get Ceylon or something, cinnamon. There's a whole weird thing they do with cinnamon. So you got to get the more expensive cinnamon. It's like CEYLON or something. And so has that, and ginger, turmeric, cloves, which cloves is another thing that it gets rid of parasites. And then you think about some of these other countries, or they eat this kind of stuff, and then it's like, oh, well, that makes sense. Put cloves and stuff. So anyways, my chai spice tea has a bunch of stuff that's good for you. So that's where you got to kind of think of like, you know, what you're getting from what you're putting in. So what are you taking in? What are you getting from it? You're just taking it in to give it a place to rest, or are you getting something from it? And so those, then on the then in my one, because I've made a couple of little blends. So in the one blend I have, it has matcha, which is some green tea derivative. When you open it, it smells so dense of plants. It is so dense of this, it's very, and then this ashwagandha, I think, is how you say it. Sometimes I can say it, sometimes I can't see it like that. But I think it's ashwagandha, and that is good for mood. Like if you've got problems with depression or any of that kind of stuff, start drinking like with ashwagandha. And then there's other things too, like there's a lot of plants that are there for depression and stuff. But anyways, so that I have in that blend. And then I have chaga mushroom, lion's mane, and then I have a bunch of other mushrooms too. And I have this collagen powder, and I had just gotten that when I had seen it at the thing. So I've only been taking that for a month, and I don't know if, but there's so many people who swear by the collagen, like you got to get the collagen. So in that one, so the mushroom one, and then in that other one, it has got moringa leaf and the spirulina. The spirulina is it's like this algae derivative. So you got all these kind of minerals and shit in that, and it is so dense too. Man, that one is really dense. It is, and it's really pretty, and so it's full of all sorts of stuff that you need. And then in my leaf stuff, because that's all powders. And then in the leaf stuff, because I have nettles, the burdock root, the mullein leaf, I've got chamomile, lavender, I have got those lotus flowers, I've got these pea flowers, those little purple pea flowers too, those are supposed to be also for mood. And chamomile is also for mood. So, and nettles is, it's got stuff for like pain. Burdock root has got stuff too. It is in all these different things, like for psych tea, all these different things of, like cleansing. Like it's really good for keeping you cleansed. And that mullein root too, or the mullein leaf, it keeps with your lungs. Oh yeah, and the dandelion root. So that one too. There could be some other ones. Oh, the hawthorn berries. So that one in there too. So it was just a whole bunch of stuff. But all those different things, see, they all have these different things that they do. And then when your body is going like that, it doesn't, I don't know. Like I'll still have like cravings sometimes. Like in the middle of the night, I was just craving like, man, I wish I had some chips. I wish I had some. So then I got my tortillas out. I'm going to make some chips. So I'm going to make chips. I think I'm going to make some chips and some hummus. And then I think I'm going to make this lemon bread today. That is, and when I have blueberries too, where you take the whole lemon. The last time I did it, I blew up the thing. So I'm not going to do the whole thing. But I'm just going to blend up the lemon, put it in a bowl, then add the stuff in the bowl. I'm not going to make a bomb again. But but you do the whole lemon, and then make a lemon cake thing. So that has a lot of nutrition. There's a lot of nutrition in like the peel and the pulp and stuff, and the seeds. It's got everything. You just put it all in there. And apple seeds too. Apple seeds can cure cancer. So pumpkin seeds are really good. Like there's a lot of things that you can take that are really good that will give you certain requirements like that your body needs. And it's kind of like, because nobody is taking in those things because they're not glamorous and cute and fancy. Well, they're doing it better with getting these coffee, these morning blends for people to drink, because they have got a lot of nutrition in those, because they have got like all this mushroom, and a lot of them have that ashwagandha, and have a lot of stuff in them to get you started. But when you start getting where your body's getting fulfilled with some of that nutrition and stuff, it is I don't know, it just changes it. Like let's see, what did I, because yesterday I ate some cookies, of course, and then I made like a breakfast bowl thing, like with potatoes and peppers, put some eggs and cottage cheese, put some yellow cheese, tomatoes, whole thing. And I think I ate that like at 10:30, and then didn't eat until I think at 2:30 or something. I think I had a cup of tea and a couple of cookies. I always have to share them with Stella, so with 4 cookies, but I only got 2 of them. So make some tea, and then haven't eaten, but then I'm like awake, starving to death. And then it's like, well, maybe I'm really hungry. Or is it the parasites? That's where it fucks with your head. And so, I don't know. Sometimes I just eat and sometimes I don't. Like right now, I'm not. My stomach's growling, but I probably am after this. I did make a cup of tea. I wasn't planning on staying awake, and then I started watching these videos. And it was just right away, it's like, oh my God, and seeing these women, and it's just, and there's men too, like it's everybody, but it's just like, you gotta go in, like there's lifestyle changes that gotta occur. Like you can't just sit on the couch. You do have to get up and move your lymph, move your blood, get circulation, get your filtration system running, get it going. And so you got to do movement. You got to start being more mindful of what you take in. Have it be nutrient packed, not just glamorous and, taste good. And start trying to wean yourself off of the things that are the addicted, taste good things. I guess Takis, there's a serious thing going with that now. Like there's some serious shit going with some of these red dyes. Like, I don't even know. There's so much shit in Takis. But there's some serious shit going with that. There's some serious, like, all the things are going to just keep going. I just heard another fucking horrendous story. Like, some of these stories are so horrendous. Man. God, so horrible as shit going down. Fuck. Because it's like, oh, damn. But this is like, it's just changing. Everything is changing. And so it's like the ending, but, it's the beginning. And some of us are in this beginning, we are coming out, like, learning how to move into it. Like, I don't know, with the people who are all, like, fake and stuff, is there's this, I don't know if it's a psychic or something that was saying that, like, the solar flash thing. Oh no, I think it was like, see, I just got hung up. A channeler who talks to some alien group or something. And so they were saying that the solar flash is going to happen in 3 stages, that there will be these stages, which there's this other thing too that I've heard about this, like, in all the different channelers, no matter when you hear them, always just take in the different information. But remember, it is their interpretation. It's how they interpret it. And what you're looking at is always like these pictures and these different words and stuff. So it's always an interpretation. And so, and even if they are just sitting there telling them in words, you're not speaking the same language. And so it's, I don't know how to explain it, because, like, telepathy, it's a lot of just, like, I don't know. Like, I talk in words, but I also talk in understanding and stuff. Like, and they'll talk to me, they'll say some words, but it's not just like, it's like this message, like you can get a message, but it's just like you understand something all of a sudden. It's not like you're sitting there da 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 da, like, you know, it's like what I just do here, like you just hear things and see things and stuff. So anyways, when you're listening to them, like, because sometimes I'll hear things and it's like, well, it's kind of like what that person said, but kind of like what this person. So like, there's all those different things. So I put it together how I understand it and what I think. So this person is saying this three waves, and the first wave will be, I think she said like 2,000 people, and it will be this group of people who, to me, the people who like seem to know what's going on and are headed in a certain direction, and that is going to lead the others. So the others see like, oh, that's where we're going. That's the hope. That's the push. That's, you know, because there has to be this breakout group that goes ahead. And so that group will start going, and then it will start being more and more problems, more and more problems. And then the second one will go, and she's saying it's like 7 years later, and there's going to be problems this whole time, just wars and shit this whole time. And then 7 years later, that the second group will decide that they're going to go in the same, you know, direction as the first group. And then whoever's left, that they'll have to go, because then the earth is going to cease to be or something. But like, to me, it is these energy waves that come in, that create all this change. Like when I was telling my daughter yesterday, it's like this, man, I can't explain it. I did so good yesterday on it too. But there's this energy coming in to bring stuff up in you to create this change. And so this this change is going, this change is occurring. So what was the changes? So the things are changing. Okay, let me see, where the fuck was I? Okay, so to me, there is this group of people who are, to me, the ones who are really awake, the ones who are spiritually really awake to all this stuff. It's more of being in observation and more of being aware and understanding. It's more of, you're just further into the awakening. It's just, it starts and it goes in all different, but it's all leading to this awareness of sovereignty, of taking a role. You know, there's this difference from trying to please others to trying to please yourself, to find who's important is you. So it's this thing, you know, that happens for everybody, and this awakening, and through it, you know, is where you start learning, you know, this love and respect for everybody, compassion and empathy, and everyone's just trying, and you just through the thing, it just develops you, you know, all these parts of you. It's kind of like these parts of you were hidden in, that were, you know, not safe. They start being able to come out of you, and, you know, these parts of you to remember and find these parts that, you know, that were damaged and hurt, that you hid and protected. So it's this coming home to self. And that's why it's like this beautiful experience. But it's also hard, because then you have to face the reasons why you hid yourself and why you tried to be different. And so it's this whole coming home to you. And so the group of people who have been working on like that group will go forward, And that's what will catch a lot of attention. But this whole thing that is about to go down, to me, is how I see it, is this thing happening, which it keeps seeming like, fuck, it's got to be, like, fuck, how can it keep dragging and dragging? But fuck, it's dragged for years, where I thought, like, so, you know, I can only hope, like, March is coming in quick, like, fuck. So, that this, focusing on, it's like all of this wave that will come in that will flip everything. So it will flip everything over, and that's when everybody will suddenly see things they didn't see. And everybody's being faced with these things. These things keep coming. And that's why I said these people just seem to like lock in harder and harder and harder, make excuses for themselves and stuff. But, you know, that's all stuff you have to face in yourself too, because it's going to show you. It's going to give you a very opposite view. And that is when all that flip happens, when everybody goes into, and see, and that's in the Mayan thing about and there's a whole thing too of like the Chinese horoscope, and the year of the dragon, and the year of the 8 and the 9, all this stuff. Like there's things about that too. But the Mayan, in things in the planetary stuff of how the planets are lining up, it all has to do with this getting a view, breaking free, getting a view of yourself and stuff. So that is what it all has to do with. And so there's going to be this huge group of people that are going to go into that period, and where to me is like this dark night. It's this seeing your shadow self. It's understanding the complexity of you, and having to face it, not being able to just mask and hide from it and pretend and all that, but having to actually face yourself. And so there's going to be a huge amount of people, because there's so many people in that group that think they're awake. They go around claiming that they're awake, but they're not awake yet. And they're just focused on a problem that scares them. And they're just like focused. And then they get mad at everybody else because everybody's not having the same reaction as them. And then they think, well, I'm awake and you're not. It's like, no, you're just focused on your fear. And right now, the absurdity with this fucking political shit, it's like, oh my fucking God. And it's so absurd, but you got these people just hanging on every word. It's like, oh my gosh. So all that stuff has to blow up, and all this stuff that keeps going down to make it so absurd. And like all this, there's so much stuff with money laundering, corrupt. There's so much stuff that just keeps coming up and coming up. It's getting people so frustrated and stuff. It's like, because you got to see that this is all bullshit. They put themselves in power just to fuck us over. This is not the way of living. This is the way they tried to make us live and convince us that this is the way. And we all submitted. We all, okay. And then, you gotta wake up to like, yeah, it's some fucking bullshit. It's corrupt as fuck. They're fucking us over. They're goddamn eating us and stealing us and doing all sorts of nonsense. And so then you have to, and it all depends too on how cut off you've been from your own soul. And there's just a lot of stuff that people have to face and get over. And so it's going to be different for everybody. But it's going to be a challenge when this happens. And it should be happening. I swear, it's got to be happening soon, because of, to me, even with the Mayan prophecy of this period of time, and just the way the timing and stuff. Like, it seems like this is when things are going to go. And then it's going to go into that. But there's going to be a group of people where it's going to seem like things are going so good for them. So then, and they are going to be talking about the problems to get there. So it's going to give these people this like, oh, okay, so I got to get through this. Then I start going there. So it's going to set a motion, a direction, a trajectory. So this group that's going to go forward is going to pull the other going forward, even though it's going to be so, like, everybody's going to be, like, tumbling down and going down. But see, that's what you need. You need to go down. You need to go down. You need to go in and take that time, you know, just lay there on your bed and just, like, rub your face, massage your pain out. Remind yourself of things, talk to yourself, and keep trying to, you know, push that pain away, and process it. Like, talk to yourself, like, you know, process through, and allow yourself, you know, time to cry, time to let it go, and then start taking things in to revitalize yourself, to give more nutrition to yourself, more minerals and nutrition and stuff, so you can start feeling better. Like, there's just so many things, and it is all of this, just this, you know, you changing your lifestyle, changing your attitude towards you. And even when you try and tell that to people, it's just so far off from what they can even understand. It's just simpler. Just go to the doctor, get some medicine. Like, you're telling me I've got to go in there and take time to myself? I don't have time. I've got time to go to the doctor. That's what people see. It's like, well, that's how they've got you all fucked up. Because they've taken over your time. In all the micro, macro, in multiple ways, they've taken over your time. And at some point, you've got to take it back. You got to say, well, I'm going to take this minute back. Well, I'm going to take this hour back. I'm going to take this motherfucking day. You know what? Guess what? I'm going to take this whole goddamn week. Guess what? I don't need your goddamn job. I don't need your shit. I can live without it. And, but see, that's going to be a whole wave, you know. And it's going to get so bad here real quick. Because they're going to lay off so many people. There's going to be so much disruption in so many different areas of our life where it's just more and more frustrating to go out and deal with things. And it's just easier to start doing things for yourself. And, you know, so everything's going to continue to fall apart because it's pushing us away. It's like, it's kind of like that. I have this image of this boyfriend. He really likes you, but he doesn't want to hurt you, so he just keeps pushing you away and pushing you away. But it's like this energy is the universe is pushing us away, like it really cares about us, so it's trying to push us into doing something that's better for ourselves. But we're so convinced that what we need. We need that. It's like we're fighting the universe. That's why I say so much. It's like you got to relax into it. The universe has a plan. You don't have control. The only thing you have control over is your attitude, how you feel about things, how you look at things, your behavior, you know, how you follow through on your impulses. Like, you know, are you just impulsive? You just jump around and do every single thing, and you're not stopping and thinking and being mindful. Like, there's a whole thing about slowing down, thinking about your behavior. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to get? Who are you trying to get it from? You know, is that what you want to do? And when you stop and you think about it and you break it down and start really deciphering your behavior and what it is you're trying to do, and you start noticing your own manipulative BS and your own games that you play, that you initiate because you're trying to find something. And then the things you're trying to find are the things that you can find in yourself. And so that's where you got to always turn. Like, okay, well, I'm trying to get something from them, but why am I trying to get it from them? What am I trying to get here? So if I stop, maybe, you just need time for yourself. That's what everybody needs, I think. Everybody needs time to themselves. My daughter's doing great having this leave of absence. I don't know. I think that probably a lot of things are going to fall apart so quick. And we're so close. We're so on the verge of just this, it's like everything, it just keeps falling. It's like that show. Is it called, it's not the Insidious show, the one with Leonardo DiCaprio in when they can go into these other realities, and the realities crumbling apart as they're running. That's what this reality is, crumbling apart. As we're moving out of it, it's falling apart. And so, and in this, psychic said that then there's going to be this, I'm pretty sure it was that psychic one. There's going to be, oh yeah, because she said there would be this overnight thing. That's why I keep saying there's this instantaneous thing that happens. But she said that there's this overnight thing that happens, and where everything all of a sudden is like this quantum leap. Like we just take this jolt into the future. And that is, and then see, and that's ahead too. But I don't know that it's going to be like, that we'll get up. I mean, there's going to be, it will be like the information will be available, more released. It won't be have the tension held, but it's still going to have time for all these patents, and there's going to be a lot of stuff. Like med beds, you know, might be real quick, where it's like, you know, like the bank collapses, the government's going down. Right away they start saying med bed, you know, like I don't know how fast it's all going to go. Like it's hard to think like overnight it's just going to be that, but it's going to be like overnight it will be that flip is what's going to take us into that, is how I see it. So it's going to be this flip that takes us into that. That will be just like a boom, just suddenly. And it can be anything. It could be like right now. It could be any time, at any moment that this happens. It's like this, it's like this energy. And I don't know what it is that's going to make it or cause it. Some people are saying it's the solar flash, when there keeps being all these solar flashes. But I kept seeing the solar flash as being more of the, where it is like clearing the, like this jolting us into the new age, like this big bang thing. And then it would be like, but maybe that is how it's going to be. Maybe this is going to be the solar flash. I just thought that the people would be awake by then. Like I thought, but maybe that is where the level that they're at, because that is, when I was saying that, people are so much more, even though they're not fully awake, they have all these different levels. So yeah, maybe it is. Maybe this will be, but man, we got the, I don't know. I mean, we have these big things that are happening. That's what I know. My God, all these big things are going to happen. We have this this big change, this big occurrence, and I know it has to do with taking care of ourselves and stuff. Like I know now, seeing these people who are fighting aging and these people who are surrendering to it, is both those things are not the things we're going to be doing. Both of the things are going, all the things are going to be going, focusing on taking care of ourselves, giving ourselves time, taking care of our health. And there's going to be big changes in our food, because I think that we're going to go through a whole thing like with community and agriculture and all that stuff. But I think eventually we're going to get further and further away from consuming other things for our energy like that. But there still will be, it's kind of like the harvest. It's kind of like the people all coming together in community and creating gardens and stuff. That is the harvest. That is when we all come together in love and unity, and it's a part of it. But it's not like where we're just going to stay. We're going to stay living like that forever. No, it's going to keep moving. Because I think it's going to go way more into where we won't be eating and stuff. But there will be this beautiful period of celebration and coming together. Right now we're in the part of everything falling apart. So we're still on that. And it's, hard part. And it's sad. People are losing their minds and doing horrible things to each other. But that's, where all this stuff has to play out. So, and my stomach is growling. I'm going to surrender to some cookies and some tea. That's what I'm going to do. So, anyways, that's what I was seeing hardcore. It seems like there was something else, but there's just a lot of stuff going on. Oh, because now there's all this talk on Tucker and stuff. And but to me, and something else. So there was Tucker. There was another thing too. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're just trying to get more eyes. They're trying to get more attention. There's all these things that go, and then they just start yakking about it so that they can get more attention on it, so that they can get more people to wake up. So that's just everything you look at, all the dramas and all the bullshit and all the things that keeps going, just keep on looking at it. It's like, oh, this is what they're trying to wake these people up, trying to wake these people up, trying to wake these people up. And so that's where you just keep sitting back like in observation. And there will be something, you know, there will be a benefit to it. Because pretty soon all of these people who think they're awake are going to be looking up towards the people who really are awake and going like, God, how'd you get there? Like, why? I thought I was awake. And so there's going to be all questions. And so, and, you know, and Sarah, like writing a book, like I'm sure there's a lot of you guys who have really incredible stories and stuff. And you got to see, like there is a lot of people who don't know how to heal. They're so stuck. So anything that you want to do, blog, write books, write, do this like what I do. You know, go on and do video blogging or whatever, you know, podcasting, and go and talk about your stories and how you've gotten through what you've gotten through and pushed through and stuff. There's gonna be all different things, but you know, I imagine most of you guys are all gonna end up being role modeling somewhere for somebody in your life of how to move forward through all this stuff. So, and that's going to be when the things flip. So, and then there's going to still be, you know, a lot of anger and tension that is going to go on when people see the truth. But man, I think of 7 years. That sounds like a tribulation thing too. 7 years of tribulation of this war and stuff. But how, I guess the wars can only affect you if you're in them. Like at some point, if you can have the awareness of it, but you can't go fight someone else's battle. And that when you pull into yourself, so I don't know, I guess like we could be here and there'd be 7 years of battling and we would all still be happy. like I don't know. Like, because I feel like we're going to go through this hard time, this deep awakening where people have to really face themselves. And that is going to be hard. And there's going to be a lot of overreaction, a lot of people going through a lot of pain to release their pain and face a lot of things and a lot of new things. But there's going to be so much excitement and new things coming. Like, it's hard for me to think like 7 years, but there's going to be like volcanoes and shit. Like, I don't know, because we do have to, there's a lot of movement that has to go down. Like, I don't know. That's the thing, is like I can see things, but I don't know all the space in between. Like, I can see things, and so I don't know, maybe it's 7 years ahead and we do have to go through 7 years. Like, I can't believe how long this is. Like, they can drag out this bank and government collapse shit. It's like, fuck. And I just, like, man, there's so many things in people's attitudes and then the people's beliefs and stuff. There's so much stuff that has to change and be exposed, and people have to see. So, man, there is a lot. There's a lot. And, you know, I don't know. You know, I know that there's good things up ahead. That's what I can tell you. There's good things up ahead. And everybody has their own path to get there. And I know that the goal is learning to love yourself and take good care of yourself and to prioritize yourself, to value yourself. So anything that you do every day to make moves towards that, taking care of yourself and loving yourself. And, you know, this aging, the aging thing is to show you how much you didn't care for yourself. All the years that you didn't do that you put yourself aside, that you didn't prioritize yourself. And so the reversing that is going back and feeling it and going back through it and releasing it and, you know, being your best friend, loving yourself, and showing yourself mercy. And so, anyways, it's a process, but I believe it's doable. I believe that we can all get back to that, you know, 30, 35 year age range where, you know, we felt good, we felt vivacious and healthy. We felt like we could go out and do things and make things, and, you know, I think we're all going to get back there. I think that's where you go to this getting to an adult. This whole other thing with aging. And you know, another thing too, because Corey Good said that about this when he went to the Inner Earth thing, and he was talking to this one lady who was their leader, and he said she like this is a thing when they go and talk to these different people. Like, the people can be old, like it's like you're aging, your wisdom can show through, but you can look way young. So all these people, even though they're super, super old, they look way young. And so that is like where we go back. And even if you are struggling, you know, when you think like, well, I'm never going to be able to do all that, you know, like some of these women who have like, well, I'm into, I just seen these videos of these women, but the deep lines, and, you know, and I see their pain and what they've gone through. And so still, even if you think, well, I can't get rid of all these, it's still, make it a part of your process to go in and love that pain, love what you went through, accepting yourself and stuff, go through it, make it a part of your process. And then remember, the med beds will come in and, you know, give you a lot of assistance. It's, you know, getting your mind towards that and getting your mind towards your healing and loving yourself and stuff. So, you know, that's the aim, that's the goal, and working always towards that. So everything that you do, anything you do during the day to show yourself love and appreciation, and making those moves, giving yourself time. Time is of great value. So give yourself some of that. And anyways, and so I don't know. That's what I got to say about it. So now it's 12:30. I've got the whole night ahead of me, and it's just jacked up. It doesn't. Even if I go back to sleep for an hour or something, it still is like, I'm definitely not getting sleep like normal. Like, I don't know. It's so weird and so chopped up, and it's even when I'm sleeping, it's just like, it's so loud. It's so jolty, and it's so like, I feel like I'm arguing to try and stay asleep. Like, leave me alone, I'm trying to sleep here. It's like, oh my God. I just feel mentally exhausted. Like, I feel like it's a part of the pressure, something of the energy too. Like, I feel like it's gonna feel like such a relief once this flips. It just feels like we're so close, and once this flips, it's gonna feel like, oh, it's gonna feel like so much, because you know, so much things that I talk about sound so crazy to people, but once things flip, then they will see, then it will make sense. So much more will make sense. So anyways, you know, hopefully I'm making sense. I don't know. You guys let me know if I'm making sense. Maybe that's the mirror that's being held up. You're just total whack. No way, because I see too much of this stuff. No way. You're not going to convince me I'm crazy. I don't care how many times they try and put that in there. There's no way. Like, this is real. Like, anyways, so I'm going to really go do something like make tea and get some cookies. So I will probably be back. No, I'm going to really try and make it through the day. I'm just going to work on my thing and not come in and say anything about anything going on. And then plus, when I'm crocheting, I don't even go on TikTok or don't do anything. You can't do two things with your hands. I have to have four hands, have one over there. Like, so anyways, but I'm going to try and just come back tomorrow. I don't know, it's kind of tiring, but then you just get these things inside of me, and it's like, I gotta talk about it. Because I'm just still think it's just very strange. Because why, when, as soon as they said that I had those antibodies, why wasn't that turned in by the labs to the disease control place? And then they notified me that they needed to do research into this disease that they're tracking supposedly. So, like, they're full of shit, man. It's all fucking nonsense. It's all fucking nonsense. So, the more things happen, the more you see through it. The more you see the bullshit. So, anyways, I'm gonna go do my stuff, and I'll talk to you. Where the plan will be. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. So, I'll talk to you later. Bye.